Season 2. I'm Spike. Welcome to my reviews. Today we're going to talk about everything that's happened, everything that's going to happen on The Flash. A lot of exciting stuff going on. So let's start off with what happened in the last episode, or where we left off. Barry still dealing with Zoom, and especially in this episode, the way the first part of this episode starts is Zoom is chasing down Harrison Wells, or the Earth 2 Harrison Wells. Okay, and he's chasing him around, and he's trying to get him to help him steal Barry's speed, like he did with Jay. That's another thing. Jay is a very interesting character, especially in this season, coming over from Earth 2 and really helping Barry out along the way, learning to throw the thunderbolt, the lightning bolt when he swirls around. And especially in this episode, you see him get closer and closer with Caitlin. That's another big thing in this episode. Another big thing is Wally. If you haven't read the comics, Wally West, this version of Wally West is based off the New 52 version. So it's going to be really exciting to see just how they evolve his character. So in the beginning of the episode, we got Zoom chasing down Harrison Wells, and he's trying to get him to say something, say something, say something, say something. Merry Christmas. Perfect way to start the episode. It's the Christmas episode. So it was a really good way to start that. So we got that, and then, Barry getting closer and closer with Patty, and their relationship starting to develop. The Wally thing, now that Iris knows about Wally, it's her getting the courage to tell Joe about this. Because he has no idea that Wally's out there, or Wally even exists. So it's all about her telling Joe, letting him know that Wally's out there. So from there, the big trio come together. Weather Wizard breaks into Iron Heights, busts out Captain Cold and the Trickster. One of the most exciting parts about this episode is the fact that Mark Hamill, which, if you didn't know, which you must be living under a rock, but Star Wars Episode 7 came out yesterday, The Force Awakens. So it's a really big time for Mark Hamill right now. He's really doing big things, not only on the little screen, but on the big screen as well. So that was really exciting to see. He did a fabulous job last season in the Trickster episode. So it was really, really cool to see him come back this time. So Trickster, Weather Wizard, and Captain Cold get together. Well, shortly after this prison break, they end up going back to their lair and creating this plan to take down the Flash. They know that he fought Zoom. They know how much Zoom just trolled him, just grabbed him, and just took him all over the city like, hey, here's your champion, here's your paper champion, he ain't shit, I got him, really trolled him all over the city. And they took notice of that, they seen that. So, along with that, they're cooping up the plan to take down the Flash because they think he's weak right now. From there, Iris goes to Barry and tells him that she knows about Wally, and they got to tell Joe. So from there, they find Captain Cold sitting there all snuggled up with his mug, just waiting for them to stop by. And pretty much Captain Cold tells him that, hey, I'm not really working with the Trickster and Weather Wizard, but at the same time, I'm not really working with you. And one of my favorite lines in probably the whole season was, Barry telling him that you're a pretty lousy villain, and Captain Cold tells him, I'm no hero, and he says, and it was just flawless line, you've been doing a pretty lousy job at being a villain lately. While all this is going on, Trickster's message comes up over the airwaves, and especially Mark Hamill's speech was just priceless, and especially about him saying, "You want to roast some chestnuts, speed freak." Just brilliant. And which that leads to them tracking down this old toy factory, and come to find out there's all these trails, and like Flash is gonna do this really cool thing with his arms where he lifts him and Patty up and then out, and it was just merely a trap for them. So, and the speech that Patty gives about getting justice for her father, it was very reminiscent of season 1, I think. Create the wand. They create the wizard's wand, and Barry goes out to stop them. Well, this is the big beefy part of the episode, where you start to see him take on Trickster and Weather Wizard. Because Captain Cold's kind of like, I'm not about this. This isn't financially lucrative for me. So, the big fight, and before this, one of the most brilliant parts in the whole episode was Mark Hamill playing Santa Claus and having all these kids sit on his lap, and then he gives out all these presents. So there's like 100 presents all over the city. So Flash goes to take down Weather Wizard, and when he does, he's got the Weather Wizard wand, and he flies off the building. So there's like this big chase scene, and it's really epic. And one of the coolest points in the whole season is you actually see Barry running, and he jumps onto a helicopter, a freaking helicopter, and jumps over while he's chasing Weather Wizard, which was really cool. The visual effects all year and last year have been just stunning. So then they get down on the ground, and then there's this like big face-off, and that's when the plot really unravels. And Trickster and Weather Wizard let him know that, hey, we've got 100 presents over the city that got bombs in them. You either let us end you, or we're blowing them all up. And Flash doesn't know what to do, because he's like, how can I be in 100 places at once? Like, seriously, if you're the Flash, like, how are you going to be in 100 places at once? I know I couldn't. And then even as fast as Barry is, how's he going to be in 100 places at once? This isn't like last year's crossover where there was like 5 bombs and he could just, put people in those 5 spots and they all defuse them at once. It's not like that. So, Barry, for a few minutes, is pretty much at their mercy because they don't know what to do. So, in the meantime, Harrison Wells steps up. Like, he's been quiet most of the episode. And he just steps up and formulates this plan to reverse the polarity of the bombs and use the singularity breaches as a way to send these bombs to another dimension, like they did with Gorilla Grodd. So that's when they get this drone, and that's when they get the magnets together, and they're all cooking up this plan while Barry's like crap beat out. So they send it through the breaches, and literally, Trickster's on top of Flash, about ready to kill him. They hurry up, swirl all that out through the breaches. Barry, hurry up, and in a split second, knocks down the Trickster, grabs the Weather Wand, knocks down Weather Wizard, stops the whole thing. Joe opens up the door, and Wally's standing right there, and like, holy crap, this is my son that I've never seen in my whole life, and he looks so much like me, or so much like my dad, and it's that awe moment. And then Iris walks up, and they welcome him in. My name's Spike.